Hey guys, Izzy here, back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the true crimes of the DUVIRI paradox. Pretty much just the things that I kind of dislike, but I'm hoping that at some point they do happen to add these sort of things into the game, and I have a good feeling that they will, but I still wanted to go ahead and go over them and maybe get some thoughts on your end. But yeah, let's get right into the video. So, at least as for the true crimes of the DUVIRI, whenever I go ahead and think about what are the things that I dislike the most about DUVIRI, and they're not a lot, trust me, they're not, but one thing definitely comes into mind, and I hope you guys take this as seriously as I do, but the fact is, it is a true crime. Actually, it's almost a war crime, the fact that we can't even change our Warframe's fashion frame. And it's not even the fashion on our Warframes, it's just the fashion in literally every single item that we get randomized into the game. Like, one thing, it would be a true war crime if it would just randomize whatever fucking fashion config you have on that particular weapon or Warframe. But the fact is that we can't even choose the fashion. It doesn't even choose for us. It just gives us the default config A slot that we have. And if you're like me, you absolutely love to have all config slots fashioned, and just because it's in config slot A doesn't necessarily mean that it's your go-to every time. Maybe your config slot B looks a lot better than config slot A. I believe I already mentioned this in a previous video, but this is exactly where I wanted to talk more about this. It's the fact that I can't choose whatever config slot on my fashion I'm feeling, more usable at that time. Not usable, but I guess I just want to slay on a different config slot, and I'm not given the option to do so. And it's kind of weird because you do have the option to customize your drifter inside of the cave where you do select your items, but whenever you try to do so with your Warframe, you can't actually do so. You should be able to. I don't believe that's such a difficult task that DE can't make it, or I don't think that in general it makes it less I don't know, I don't think I don't think it damages the experience of the DUVIRI if they happen to add it, because I want to use a different fucking fashion when my Warframe comes out, because I wanna show it off to people. Why do I always have to just change it to config A? That makes no fucking sense, especially when we can actually select our builds. Like, again, true war crime, unacceptable. I don't think it's a good. I don't think it's good that we don't have this option, but I have strong faith that this is something that they will add later on, probably around the updates of the Echo updates, like Echoes of the DUVIRI. We'll probably get something along the line, and in fact, we'll probably get most of these things that I'm going to mention in this video in Echoes of the DUVIRI if they actually end up making an Echoes of the DUVIRI update, but that's just me speculating, and I have no fucking idea. But anyways, that's just one of my biggest griefs. Now onto the more serious topics. Let's go ahead and talk about the degrees. Now, degrees are absolutely fun to use. I absolutely love to just focus on certain builds, and they can make your Warframe and weapons absolutely fucking ridiculous. Well, mainly your weapons, but you get the gist. It's absolutely amazing to just go into, say, with Baruch and get a lot of melee decrees and just go absolutely fucking apeshit with it. It's phenomenal, but the system itself is still lacking, and I talked about this in a previous live stream with one of my viewers. It's the fact that there is a huge lack of survivability decrees, which I do believe it would be something extremely good to add, just because most people like to stay in the circuit for a pretty long time, and it wouldn't only help for the circuit, but it will also help for whenever you're playing inside the DUVIRI experience as well, for your Warframe or your or your drifter as well. It's just in general a convenience to have, and I'm pretty surprised that they didn't add this from the get-go, considering the fact that enemies scaling inside of the circuit and inside of the DUVIRI experience can go pretty fucking high, especially on Steel Path. So having at least some defensive options, some survivability options, and in fact, not even just that, maybe things that support your teammates as well. Don't just give me like a degree that like gives me overshields. Give me a degree that gives me overshields, and every time it kills someone, it gives my allies overshields. That would be absolutely great. Like it's just a great quality of life, and it incentivizes people into choosing some of these, because of course we sometimes get warframes that are fully supportive, and what else are we supposed to do with them? We're not going to be able to do a shitload of damage. Why not just give us more options to support the team that we're playing with at the time? I just feel like that's kind of, you know, self-explanatory. I thought that that's kind of common sense, but I'm really surprised that they just didn't add something like that into the decrees that we currently have. Again, this is probably something that they'll be adding into a later update, since they did confirm that they will be adding new decrees every time they do an update, or maybe it's a major update. Every major update we get a new decree or something along those lines. I'm not exactly sure. They did mention it on a previous dev stream though, so I'm kind of certain that it's something that's being looked into, but we just don't know if it's going to be like survivability or if it's going to be focusing on other things. But I do believe that survivability and just in general support for not just your warframe but for the teammates that you're playing with would be really good to have, honestly. And let's go ahead and go into the last one that I wanted to go ahead and talk about, because there's a lot of things, right? Like there's a lot of things. I'm not going to go over like bugs and all, because obviously we'd be here all day, and those are obviously going to be getting fixed throughout, you know, the next couple of hot fixes that they make, or the next updates that they make in general. So I don't think I have to highlight any of the bugs. We've already had those bugs. We've already seen them. We've already gotten frustrated from them. We've already laughed from them. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and go on to the last point, which is the DUVIRI's truest crime and injustice to DUVIRI in general, the fact that we can't free roam. I think that I kind of feel like it's kind of a blunder for them that they didn't add this as a possibility, strictly because the DUVIRI Paradox, like the DUVIRI in general, looks absolutely amazing. It's one of the most beautiful open worlds we've had in the game thus far. It's really pretty to look at. It's really nice to explore, and not just that, it's a really good convenience to be able to just jump into it to free roam specifically, because if you haven't played the DUVIRI yet, or if you haven't noticed this yet, the items for the DUVIRI Paradox take a shitload of fucking resources, and most of these resources you get them from exploring inside the DUVIRI Paradox. And so not having the option to just jump in and get the resources and dip out of there is kind of weird. I get it that it's kind of a charm that every time you go into the DUVIRI Paradox is because you have to do something, like you have to do a mission, but I feel like it's a huge disservice to the DUVIRI in general as an open area or open world type of thing, where you just can't jump into it whenever you want to. You have to do the missions regardless of whatever it is that you need to get inside of the DUVIRI. And so I just feel like in general this should have been something that should have been included from the very get-go, but they did mention it on DevStream that is something that they are looking into, because they have received a lot of complaints in regards to that, because obviously we receive an open world, we want to go ahead and explore it, why not, right? And so not having the option to do so from the get-go, and just having so much that we have to collect in terms of resources is a little bit frustrating. Now, it's not that big of a deal, because of course you can just jump into the DUVIRI experience and do the exploring that you need to do, and then afterwards do the missions, or do the missions and then after you finish all the missions you can go ahead and just explore. But it's just a small inconvenience that you have to do the missions regardless of whatever it is that you need to do, right? Because it's just more time being taken from the player that isn't necessarily in it for just the missions, or just trying to get something else. But you know, it is what it is. It is just very small things. These are just the three very small things that I've been thinking about this whole time that I've been playing the DUVIRI Paradox, that I feel like it should have been something that they thought of when they were making the DUVIRI, like when they were going to be releasing it. And they probably knew that this was something that people were going to at some point complain about, because, I mean, you know, just very small things, but they're so essential. Now, I'm glad that we of course have fishing, but I would add one last thing, that is, I would absolutely love to have mining in the DUVIRI Paradox. Now, that does mean that if we happen to get mining at some point, that'll be more resources, but maybe some of the resources that we get from the DUVIRI Paradox we can get from mining as well. I mean, that's not completely out of the picture or out of the realm of possibilities, considering the fact that it's just a paradox. Like, a lot of things here just don't fucking make sense, so why wouldn't we be able to get some of the resources by mining? I just would like that. I like mining in general. I like just being able to explore the map and mine with some lo-fi on and just, you know, turn off my brain a little bit, you know? But anyways, that's pretty much what it is for the DUVIRI crimes. I guess those are 4 DUVIRI crimes that I think that hopefully at some point they'll add into the game. I don't think mining will be something that they'll add into the game, not gonna lie. That last one, that one just came up in my head for a moment, because I was thinking about like the other open worlds as well as I was speaking, and so I was like, oh, we don't have mining. That's well, that's bad. I actually like mining a lot, so. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the crimes of the DUVIRI. What do you think is the absolute biggest crime of the DUVIRI? Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and yeah, hopefully you catch me live next, or my next video. I do go live every, I believe it's every Thursday or Sunday, or both, around 8 p.m. Eastern time is the time that I usually go live. I always schedule it at least an hour or 3 hours before going live, so if you guys want to go ahead and get notified, just hit that bell notification. It'll let you know when I do go live and when I do upload a video. And yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.